Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Segue Saturday number 7. I actually had originally planned on discussing something else, but we are going to be discussing today a phenomenon that Joel and I are discovering more and more rapidly over the last several years. In fact, more recently, a lot more. And I think mainly I want to discuss whether it is an increased prevalence of people who are gifted or learning their gifts or coming into their gifts because of outside forces, or if it's just because the internet age, the information age is bringing us together, or both. I'm open to all those options. But right now, we're coming across so many more people that are gifted and having to learn their gifts than we previously dealt with people say, oh, I'm having this problem with this spirit, this demon, this, that, or whatever. We're literally finding people who are in search of guidance because they don't know how to use their abilities, and that's what they really want, or that's what they really need. So before we start any further, go any further, it's official, Joel. You can unmute yourself. Yeah, it's official.
It's official?
Yeah, it's official.
What?
See, I knew you were going to say. I could have actually scripted that out. I could have written it out. This is how well we know each other. The other day, Joel, I was joking with Joel. It's like my wife was saying that we're not close enough friends for her taste. I'm like, are you kidding me? If Joel hugged me any closer, I'd be in back of him. So, yes, I steal from the best, Groucho Marx. So, but it's official. We are now professionals. Aisha, I did not ask for it, but she actually paid us for the work we've done. And thank you, Aisha. You are the first one ever to pay to.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. We're humbled by it. I don't even know what to do with the money because I'm sitting looking at it going, I don't want this to go to waste. And I'm trying to think of what I can do to better the channel with it.
I wasn't looking for any praise for it. It's just that you saved my life on a few occasions, and I figured you deserve it. Since I've been blessed, I've passed out blessings to those who I have actually been watching on YouTube who I feel deserve it. So, there's so much free help and information and stuff that's being given out on YouTube. It's only fitting for anyone when you are blessed. It's not like everyone can afford it, but when you can, if you have gotten something from someone on the internet, go ahead and do something for them. So at least those people can feel that their work is worthy of continuing, because we need these people in life. So that was my purpose for doing it, because I was blessed at the time.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, and it was humbling because up until then, I had never thought of. We don't do this for money. We really don't.
Yeah.
I that's why I don't have a merchandise line. I don't push anything out there. It's like, here, buy my stuff, because there are other people out there who are doing it, and I understand it's definitely important for them to maintain their channels, etc. this way. But for me, I haven't yet found a comfortable place where I can go, okay, we do this for X and we get in this amount of money. Basically, because I look at all of these psychics, and I think and I'm just talking about the real ones who charge as much as they do. It's a paywall in order to keep people off of them, because $500 for an hour's work, or not even quite that, is prohibitive to just about anybody who may need the help that isn't rolling in cash. And it's not like these people are going out there and doing this for free. And like Amy Allen, she doesn't do it for free. She does it for the show. The show pays her a grip. And so she's got plenty of cash rolling in on that regard. So she can go out and help people who normally otherwise couldn't. But most of us don't have a show. But so back to the original subject. We're actually now encountering more people who are gifted than ever. And I'm beginning to get the feeling that the gifted folk who are needing our help so much more than before are actually targeted. In some cases, they see things and then they're put under the gun. It's the only thing I can come up with.
I felt like I was a target when it actually happened to me.
And you are gifted. It's and you have Jemima there, and she was targeted too for drain, because these things need sustenance, they need light, they need energy. We haven't exactly figured out how they do a lot of their feeding. Some of them just stand there and bask in the glow of your auras and the aura of your daughter, and they get stronger that way. I'm not sure what the basis is for it. I just know that when they do it, the effect is pronounced, and they're able to do all kinds of crazy, dangerous, weird stuff. Joel, you still eating breakfast?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Aisha, you were going to say
So
something?
they take energy from her, my daughter.
They could,
because of her gift.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they're attracted to her. There's a show right now on Netflix. Actually, there's 2 of them, which are amazing.
Okay, let's. Woo! I've been wanting to talk to you about this show, the first episode.
Okay. Well, let me talk about the show that you haven't yet watched, which is not that one. This one is called The Haunted. The Haunted is...
I almost watched that one. I turned that one on by mistake, actually.
That one is about people who have had horrible life experiences, not always with ghosts or demons. Some of them with insane parents. And I mean, by insane parents, I mean mass murdering parents who like to sing tra-la-la while you're rolling an orange back and forth between you on the floor. Oh, I wish I was joking. It had the fever dream quality of a bad episode of Space Dandy all wrapped up into that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sonia.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Oh, I love hearing her voice.
Hi.
And so this show actually talks about people's experiences with ghosts, and it doesn't present any solutions. Now, I don't know if behind the scenes they're going, yes, we're going to send people your way to help you, or we'll pay you enough money so that when this thing gets you, because these things can get you, and you will see this. This is one of the things we've been explaining for ages, untold. People, oh, ghosts can't kill you. Oh, I actually got the paranormal scholar to change her ways. I actually proved to her mathematically that they can kill you. And so she changed how she and her husband were presenting their channel. So, yeah, they can reach out and touch you. Now, this show is a sort of an anthology. It's a different person or family with each episode. And I highly recommend watching it, because this will give you an idea of some of the stuff that Joel and I have dealt with. And nothing so far that I've seen on the show, I'm only 3 episodes in, aside from the mass murdering hillbilly family, is something that Joel and I have not dealt with fairly quickly. I say quickly, I won't say expeditiously, because that would make it sound easy.
I've actually met an axe murderer during my profession. It was kind of weird. It was before he became an axe murderer.
It's always before that point. That, running and screaming and look, it's Michael Myers.
He was cool, but there was something off about him, and then all of a sudden he became an axe murderer, and it was like, oh yeah, there it is.
So, Aisha, you were going to say something?
No, I was listening to him with this axe murderer.
Oh.
Is he telling the truth? Is it real? He actually met someone like that?
Yes.
What,
Yes, I actually met somebody who turned out to have snapped and killed his family with an axe. Or
were
a
you
portion
like
of
friends
his
with him
family.
at first?
No, I really can't discuss it. It was on a professional level where I met this person.
Oh, okay.
So due to certain rules and stuff, I can't just really be like, yeah, it's so and so and this and that, and it's a little bit uncomfortable anyway, because it was like weird, the guy gave off like this vibe, like something wasn't quite right, and yeah, something was not quite right.
So then that brings us around to the new show that is on Netflix also. And by the way, I'm not shilling for Netflix and trying to get you to watch their videos or whatever. Just this is every now and then you find a couple of gems, and I will point out wherever they are, no matter whose channel or whose service they come from, simply for the fact that it catches things dead on. Now, way back in 1959, Shirley Jackson wrote a novel, a thriller, which is why some people are complaining about this new series. Oh, it's not gory, it's not a horror. It's because it's not a horror. Slap yourself. It's a thriller. It always has been. Shirley Jackson doesn't write horrors. She wrote thrillers. The lady was fantastic at what she did. And The Haunting of Hill House was, bar none, one of the most amazing. Now, there was a movie based on it, and that was great. And then there was a remake with Liam Neeson that you should never, ever watch.
What's the name of those movies?
The Haunting of Hill House. And the original one had the actor who played Riff from West Side Story, the movie, in it. He played the nephew of the lady who owned the property that they were on, because this was originally owned by a lady who just wanted to have it investigated and looked into, and he didn't believe in ghosts at all. It's a really very, very amazing movie, especially for the 1960s. The practical effects are flawless. And so they reimagined this story for the modern age so that it would reflect today. And how would it reflect today? Well, simply put, they interviewed a lot of children and adults who had these events when they were kids. I think on the order of several hundred was what they'd done, and they'd gone over several of the old texts on this kind of thing that were written all the way up until the 80s and 90s that reflected things that were happening to children. Now you just go to the internet, but they interviewed these people, and it was the entire family of this show is a grab bag of who's who of gifted folk. Apparently, in this, you're going to see that it is a hereditary thing, as most gifts are, but the children are all uniquely gifted in their own ways. And the eldest boy, Stephen, and the youngest one, Luke, are the closest to my gifts. They don't have all of them, but it's similar in the way that things happen to them as my life. The second youngest daughter, the middle daughter, Theodora, is very much like Joel. Joel touches stuff, stories come into his head. And that's what happens to Theodora. So essentially what you're looking at with this show, and I'm not ruining anything, there's no spoilers because you're going to find this out in the first episode, that this is all happening as the kids are learning their abilities, or they're just suddenly coming into full fruition, and the house is a thing, almost like a living entity that wants to feed. And this is what happens to gifted folk that are in the world and don't know what they're doing, have no guidance. And these things are like, oh, look, I've been living on picking small amount morsels of flesh off of the bones of the past, and here you bring me a feast. And that's what seems to be the universal constant to what happens to gifted folk, because it's not always that the place you go to is haunted. It's just that you can see things and you assume that they're haunted. But what happens if you go to a place that's really haunted and you're gifted? Aisha's story happens. Classic example. This thing is like, I got lots of energy. I can rob you of more. I like feeling this way because it makes me feel like I'm alive again. I'm going to lay claim to you and your children. And you can almost hear the starter's pistol shot, and we're off to the races. So go ahead, Joel.
I don't know. I was just listening to you, and I think that's a good way to explain it. Like, that's an excellent way to explain it. And I think this is happening more and more often. I think with how can I say, with the conversation started on different dimensions and realities and quantum physics kind of coinciding with what metaphysics and indigenous cultures are believing when they're finding that these things are more in line with the way reality really works. I think that with that going on, more and more people are open to it, and their gifts are opening up because of it, because they're being exposed to these ideals. And we're just starting to learn that there is an unseen universe that can affect us and that we can affect. I believe that's one of the reasons why there's more and more people. This kind of stuff is happening to them, more of an awakening.
Well, then there's also the beginning of the sixth world. As of 2012, we are in a different part of space than we've been in before. As the universe expands, and we now know that the universe is accelerating as it expands, and we are now moving through a part of space which apparently the Mayans said things would change when we got here. And we are seeing, or at least I think I'm seeing, I mean, I can't really quantify this. I can't, because we're in the information age. And when we were in the past, it would be like, yeah, you gather around a campfire and you talk about things, and you discuss stuff that may be uncomfortable, ghost stories, stuff that happened to you. People may or may not resonate with that. But on the internet, you can literally stand still and set up a spot where you can try and catch people's attention, and more people will come to you. And thus far, we're on the 5th or 6th group of people we're helping right now. And it's, I think, two of them are ridiculously metaphysically capable, but didn't know it. So 2 out of 5. That's a pretty high average, when before Joel and I used to be it for what we'd encountered until we started encountering other people on the internet.
Yeah, I would only encounter, like when I was in Idaho, I only encounter my one buddy from Wales. And just because I was around a metaphysics bookstore all the time, I was running into people, but still, like, the people that would talk to me about it would be like, I might run into, well, part of my gifts is that I'm in the right place at the right time to talk to these people. So for me, I always had like a ridiculous amount of people that was gifted around me and ran into them all the time. But that being said, like, I never really had, like, if it was like somebody that was like a total stranger, I would say maybe 2 in a 5-year period, you know, significant. And now is
several in a year.
So yeah, it happens a lot more often,
or one every couple of months. It's
yeah,
and it's revving up. It comes back to the fact that we need to have a place where people can actually discuss this kind of thing and get definitive answers. And that's not to say that we have all the answers, but some of the basics, the basics laid out, explained, described, walked through. And I mean, walk through in a way other than, oh yes, and you sit there and your energy gels like a jello mold, and it quivers a few times, and you do this, and you must ignore the world of this, and we are now, we exist on many planes, and you must be conscious that, no, that's really that's stuff for meditation. That's not stuff for, let me help you understand mechanically what is going on right now with what you're dealing with. If you explain it in that fashion, that only another person who's gone through it is going to have a chance at understanding, you don't really understand the source material. This was explained to me many times when I was in college. If you don't understand it well enough to describe it simply so that every person can understand, you don't have a grasp on the material. You're just dancing in front of everybody and waving fans and going, look over here, look over here. It's not going to help people that much. And the few people that it's going to land with really didn't need that much help to begin with. So I'm a big believer in KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Because if you don't, nobody's going to be able to follow along with you, or very few. And this isn't to say that I think that the people we're trying to help are stupid. They just don't They're starting at the beginning. You can't start them. You can't go, hey, you've now learned to read English. Now let's get you into the fourth year philosophy courses. Whoa.
Yeah, it's yeah. You kind of have to, if you have to be able to explain it to whatever level of understanding that your person is at, and some of that is a lot of it is through experience, especially with this kind of subject. It turns out that once you've had that experience enough times, you can kind of explain it because you kind of understand it, or you after you have that experience, just sitting down, and as uncomfortable as it might be, taking inventory with what happened and kind of revisiting it after the fact so you can kind of see what's going on. And it helps to have somebody that you can talk to about it so you can kind of get it out and express what happened and figure out on your own what it is that you had experienced. It's not easy.
Yeah. One of the basic, probably the the most important thing about when Joel and I were finally discussing this kind of thing with each other was that we actually could discuss it and let our brains work it over, speaking it out loud, and somebody who listens uncritically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you know that as soon as you start talking, when somebody is uncomfortable about the subject, we know because we've been around it, where the person is automatically trying to come up with some way to negate you because you're going down a path that they're afraid of.
Yeah. Aisha, Sonia. I love hearing Sonia. We haven't had Sonia so long. Sonia, do you have anything to add, to say?
No, sorry, I'm still trying to finish off my food because stuff ran late, and I've literally just ran in, sat down, and trying to finish what I'm eating.
Oh, we missed you.
Sorry, like I say,
you've been busy.
We're doing something, and and it just, we have one woman. It's like me, and it ended up running late. I should have finished at like 5:30, but literally I've only just run in. Literally, still got half of the makeup on, and I've just sat down and I'm like, right, I need to do this. I need to eat.
That's fine. We'll leave you alone for a little bit then, huh?
Yeah, just give me a second because literally my head's just like, ugh.
Okay. Aisha, have you been experiencing an influx or anything to add to that?
No, everything's been great. Like I said, I've been blessed lately. So I'm just trying to enjoy my life and maybe get a little more time now so I can maybe start my channel doing the things that I needed to do. So I'll let you guys know whenever it starts. This is going to be exercising, just a fat girl on there exercising, showing other fat people that he can get out there and exercise too, you know?
Yes, I'll have my fat ass on that channel.
Yeah. Just saying that, you know, if people see someone do it and not afraid to show themselves on camera doing this, they'll just get their big butt up and do it too, you know? So, hey, that'll help. Because it's kind of weird to see all these, you know, healthy, sexy people up there doing. It's like, oh man, they already sexy. They can't, you know, they ain't gonna help me. It just make me feel bad looking at them. I don't want to do it, you know. Yeah, but let me get up there, and it might, you know, give people a little bit more encouragement to get out there. And oh, she fat already. Let me catch her before she start losing weight. That way we can do this together, you know.
Yes.
Since I work in the nutrition field, it's one of the things that it's a poorly kept secret, but they hire people who can quickly stuff their guts full of stuff and then push their stomach out to make themselves look overweight, and then pretend to be taking a supplement or something like that to lose the weight, or some kind of rub-on cream and go, look, it worked for me. And there's nobody believes that. I'm doing these specials for these different companies at these convention centers and going, as I'm passing out products and talking facts, and then just 2 booths away is somebody full of BS going, yeah, I use this, and no, you don't. Just stop. Really, just stop. I can't stand dishonesty, especially in this kind of thing when we're dealing with the metaphysical, whether it's nutrition, when you're talking about people's health or whatever. Lying causes so many more problems, and BSing somebody about how to get somewhere or how you got there is just the pits. If your metabolism is already primed, you can gain and lose weight quickly, sort of like Christian Bale or Tom Hanks getting ready for a movie, then that's great for you, but you're going to pay for it. I mean, look at Tom Hanks now, type 2 diabetic, extremely bad shape. His kidneys have taken so many hits, it's not even funny. He's like, oh yeah, I'm done. I'm just going to leave this all for Christian Bale to do. Now he's playing Cheney. Oh my God, did he put on weight? From Batman to Fat Man. So anyway, back to the gifted folk. Has anybody watched? So you wanted to talk about the house on Haunted Hill, the Haunting of Hill House, rather.
Yeah. So let's hold on. Let me get close to the mic for this, and I'm sure you will understand this.
Now, but wait. Before we go any further, there's possible spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything, just turn off the video now and come back later after you've watched it. However, we're going to do our best to give a breakdown to the people who've already binge watched this sort of thing, and possibly get some of you who haven't binge watched it, who don't mind spoilers, to go and watch this show, because it is ridiculously well done.
Oh, it's stupid well done. I watched 2 episodes and I knew I was going to be up late by myself, and I was like, nope, too real for me. Got to come back to this one. Go ahead. Somebody was in the background. Go ahead, say something.
What are we talking about? Because literally I've only just basically ran in, so...
The Haunting of Hill House, the TV series on Netflix, based off of the novel by Shirley Jackson, who also, when I was in college, we read about her in the fiction writing classes I took with Sheila Finch Rayner. Shirley Jackson has this way of being able to take some of the weirdest situations and turn them into something terrifying.
Never heard of
it. The short story, The Lottery. Well, you probably have heard of the movie, or at least seen it in passing, if you've ever watched regular TV, even in England, because the original cast of the original movie were 2 English folk and 2 American, and it was shot in England because we don't have houses that look like Hill House here in the U.S.
Do you mean House on Haunted Hill, or is that something completely different?
That's different. The Haunting of Hill House. It is the House on Haunted Hill was a remake of a Vincent Price movie.
It's funny because there's a staircase in that one that's oddly resembles a staircase in Haunting of Hill House.
Like I say, I've still never heard of it, but I don't watch a lot of telly. So...
Well, grab the popcorn, saddle up for this one, because it's a great show.
This one is okay. The first kid that you get exposed to their gifts, you don't even realize you're being exposed to their gifts, which is Stephen, the eldest boy, and Luke, which is the youngest boy. Now, Stephen and Luke don't.
What's the name of the show again?
The Haunting of Hill House.
Okay.
Now, what you don't realize is that both of them are seeing ghosts right from the get-go. And some of the things that... Now, I'm ridiculously observant. Trying to hide stuff from me is very, very hard, which is why when I can't find something where it's supposed to be, I get very, very upset because I know somebody moved it, and everybody's like, no, we didn't move it. It's like, I know you moved it because it's not where I left it, or else I'd see it. And I have to wander the house and then find it. But in this movie, in this series... the things that you probably aren't going to notice, but it's going to subliminally jack you up, are the moving statues. Yes, they move from scene to scene. You're not even going to realize it unless you stop and go back. I noticed it more than once. This is one of those things that when Joel and I go to investigate stuff, I'm the one who's looking around, because as soon as something changes, I notice, and I'll tell Joel, it's like, something changed. And I don't mean in the Neo version. It's like, whoa, that cat just walked by twice type thing. No, it's not deja vu. And the ghosts in the background staring through things, or looking at the kids through reflections.
They did that so well.
It is, because it's just like in real life. Like when you go to, all these interviews paid off because they did exactly what kids, especially like us, we notice. You notice that we're being watched, and we'll stare at the damn thing, and the thing won't even blink because it doesn't care. It's like they're all like Top Hat Lurch. It's like, oh no, you can't really see me. The hell I can't. Like, no, they're going to turn away and realize that I'm not here. The hell I will.
Yeah.
Your force powers are weak, old man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like talking to Melody a couple times. There was a couple of things that they did. And I told her, like, when one of them happened, and I was like, oh, I just got chills. She looked at me, and I was like, I don't like that. I told her why I didn't like it, and I explained it to her. And then later on, they made reference to that scene in another way. And she was like, ooh, you did say that was significant. I was like, yeah, because let me tell you, that's how I see things. That is how, when I get information and I get foreshadowing or that moment of impression, that's kind of what it looks like to me. That's kind of what it feels like to me. And she was like, oh. And then there was the first thing that I noticed was like in the first scene. And I know it was like I went full Sean on her. I was like, oh yeah, no, I don't like that area right there. That area, bad. Can we go over here?
Yeah, that's true. It's like, no, we don't want to go over there. Why? Don't find out the hard way. Let's just back away slow.
Yeah. It was that moment, like, because I normally don't get information like that from like video clips. I have to touch, I have to be there. So when I was like watching it, and I was like, oh, fuck you, corner over there.
Now, to keep you all apprised of why it has this kind of an effect, because you're gonna go, but it's only a movie, it's only a TV series. Yes, it is, but it's shot at a really haunted place. Now, they've been splashing this all over the internet because it's a real place in Sonoma, California that's really, really haunted. Okay? Yeah. And so the energy that Joel and I will pick up on top of the scary images that we're going to see is almost akin to putting on a play in a haunted house. We're gonna feel like somebody's got ants crawling over our shoulders the entire time. And there's a saying about art like this. Art is how we tell the truth with lies. And this is essentially giving us, for all of you who don't understand what it's like, that sort of event. But on top of all that, they're doing it in a haunted house. So it's rather akin to taking a house that's already on fire and then having us watch how the firefighters put it out from the inside or deal with it from the inside, whether they extinguish the fire or not. So our brains can't really separate that it's not totally real, because some of this stuff, it's not. These aren't even things we haven't seen. We've seen. If you're going to watch this show, there's not much in there that, or I can't think of anything that's beyond the scope of what we've dealt with. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Was there so far? I don't know how far you got.
I haven't got too far in. I got like I said, I watched like a couple episodes, and then I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to be up to like 4 or 5 in the morning. And this is the last thing I want creeping around in the corners of my mind. It's bad enough I got it creeping around in my backyard every now and then,
You know what? I'm going to come out there. I'm going to plant some plants to drive this stuff off because and Joel wants me to go talk to his lavender plants. The first thing that came to my mind was take goldenrod here and plug them into the hyperdrive and see what's wrong. It's like, I told Karen that she was laughing so hard. It's like, it's the truth, is what I felt like. It's like, take goldenrod here and plug them into the hyperdrive.
Yeah.
So,
so yeah, just it was pretty crazy. And you know what? After that, I couldn't turn it off. We had that conversation. He was like, "Well, I don't see you picking up my traits." Well, here you go, Sean. You're welcome. I don't know to say I hate you for this or what, but yeah. So I'm watching Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, which is a cooking documentary, and they're in Italy, and she's talking about fat, and she's at this old place, and she's like at this villa, this old villa, and they take a picture. They're showing some pictures of some things, and they show this one place in this area, and I was like, oh, I just got chills. I don't know what's going on there, but there's something there. I was like, God damn it, Sean. You ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. It's I now that I'm actually able to see again, and the impressions I get from things through my visual is way outstrips what it was when we were 16, because my vision's back to when I was a kid. It's shocking even to me. Some of the stuff I pick up just on like Amy Allen's show, or there's a new show on TV with these good old boys from the South that are chasing ghosts the right way, not like Zach Bagans and his crew, going, "Oh, it's the devil, it's the devil." No, they don't do that. They let they gather the evidence, and they do a really damn good job.
Are you talking about Soul Brothers or
no? It's
I think that's what it was called.
The name of their group is the Wraith Chasers, but that's not the name of the show. And they've been doing stuff on Travel Channel called Haunted Live, where they actually do live shows where they're doing investigations for 3-4 hours. It's a really amazing show. These guys are really good at collecting data, and none of them are gifted, but which means that I'm getting stuff just out of the environment, so it's clean. I'm not getting, poor Aaron, which is another thing. In the last episode of Ghost Adventures, Zach was very blatant about, it's like, yeah, it's appropriate that we're here by the sea, and fishing is a thing. So, when you're out there trying to catch your biggest fish, you use your best bait. That's what you are, Aaron. You're my best bait. Like, oh, wow. You finally admitted it on camera, you wanker.
So I hope you have the person ready to edit this. Fuck that shit, Zach. That is so wrong. If I was Aaron, that's what I would have said. I would have been like,
seriously,
take this job and shove it. You remember that song?
Yeah, and on Instagram it shows him buying like sheets of lotto things. You know what he's trying to do? He wants to win the California lottery so he can get the hell out of there. I'm not kidding. If you think I'm joking, look on his Instagram. He's got sheets of lotto tickets he's purchased. I think at this point he realizes, yep, Zach is going to use me like a crash dummy without a helmet as long as he thinks he can get away with it. But we've been shouting over that for like the last, I don't know, 10 years.
Maybe he watches our channel.
I hope so. We can say, don't lock him in. Don't do this. Don't give him the button to your life. Don't. Nope. And he sends him down there, and Aaron's all a mess, right? He's rolling on the floor. No joke. He's in this last episode's rolling on the floor. And that's what happens to a gifted person who hasn't learned how to use their meager gifts. It's not cool. You don't go, hey, stuff shows up and starts beating you in the face. Can we put you out there where we can roll the cameras and show you getting beaten in the face? It's not an appropriate way to gain experience. There are so many more places out there to be able to gain experiences. Just being around each other is a great way. That's the reason why witches had covens. It's a place to be able to group yourselves in a safe and nurturing environment. And at the very least, talk about it like Joel and I were discussing. Just talking about it allowed us to be able to get past a lot of the sticking points. Have you found that's the case, Sonia? I'm going to put her on the
Yeah.
spot. The 2-syllable responses don't work. Expound, dear. Expound.
I'm still trying to finish eating.
No. We need you to expound. Expound.
Eat between words. Bites between words.
We're just putting her on the spot.
I've got chips and gravy. So.
They're not going anywhere. They'll survive.
I like them warm.
Thank you for reminding me. My wife is at farmer's market. I need to text her. I want some of those egg rolls that we get from there.
Oh, that's another thing you want to drag me to. We need to get better produce. Get Sean out here on a Saturday and put him out there in the.
Go to ride.
I know what you want to do. You just want to see what happens when I pick up the wrong piece of fruit or something, and Airman goes, "Not that one."
I want to be able to. I want to be able to feel the energy of the process. That way I can learn from it. That's the best way for me to learn some of these things. I have to be in that moment. So guess what?
Yeah, that, and you also want to see just exactly what I said, which he goes, "Not that one." Yeah. He's like, no. There's a higher purpose to it, but yeah, it's that other one too because it's funny.
I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna let Airman tell you to tell me it's the wrong one. I keep doing it. Is he dead?
There's sometimes I just go past the produce aisle, and she goes, "I'm not going to help you with any of this because it's all ridiculous. If you choose any of it, you're on your own. I'm not helping you because picking the least bad is not a way to pick vegetables and fruits."
Yeah.
She's done that to me, like with grapes. Like I can't get grapes for Eric. She's like, "Of course you can get grapes. I'm just not going to put my seal of approval on it." And then she does well, look over here. There's nice yams. It's like, oh, okay. I'll go over to the yams. Or the wow, they have a fantastic choice of mushrooms today. No, not the big ones, the small ones. Oh, okay.
Hey. Or
turn your head and look over here. There's a fantastic. These apples are great. About a third of them are wonderfully juicy. Is okay, right? And she's leading me through by the left shoulder. It's funny to watch. I've gotten to the point now where I put a basket in front of me and I do my best to use the basket as a means of hiding what's going on. And Adrian will come over with something. So, is this good? It's like, no, that's the reason why I walked past it. Just put them down. So, well, there's not a single one that's good. It's like maybe one. Or do you want to pick up just one Roma tomato?
Sure.
No, really, that's what happens. Like, you want to just pick up one Roma tomato? We look like idiots with one Roma tomato in a plastic bag.
I've actually done that before. I don't give a crap.
So,
yeah, but he's just gonna have to go back out and get more.
That's what happens. You have to go, or when with the jalapenos, because Karen always wants really powerful jalapenos, right? The last time that she and I went shopping, she's like, she reaches for the jalapenos. I go, stop. She says, why? It's because you know what'll happen. You're not going to pick the right ones, and then you're going to be upset because you got these horrible ones, and Trevor's going to be telling you off. So let me pick the good ones. They're not really great. You want hot ones, so let me get the hot ones. So I get the hottest ones, right? And Karen has these Christian revival moments, hand in the air going, oh, they're so hot. Oh my gosh, hands shaking in the air like she's punching the air like she's at a rock concert. So
fist bump.
But if I let her get them, she's like, oh, these are terrible. I'm like, I know. Why do you even do this? You drag me along to the market and you want these picked out correctly. Why do you do it? Because you don't. I have an insano-meter that stops me from getting the wrong ones. And when we grow the ones in our backyard, Karen, she starts screaming and yelling about how hot they are because they're much hotter, right? Trevor will start to, he puts his forearm to the top of his head because he has to brush back his hair because his head is so hot. He goes, Daddy, these are really, oh boy, hot, right? And I actually grew them so hot this year that Trevor couldn't even speak. He was like, oh, wow, these are so, oh, this sucks, right? Because he can't speak, right? And he's just going, because he can't get the air to stop being being so hot in his mouth? I said, son, go get some yogurt. That's the reason why I keep Greek yogurt. He said, no, I shouldn't have to. I'm trying to get used to it. I said, just, I go and grab the damn yogurt, get a spoonful of it and shove it in his mouth. Like, here. And he finally, the top of his head looks less red and his hair is no longer standing on end.
Nice.
So when people assume that this isn't a real thing, it's like, nope, I have no skill. Nobody taught me this. I didn't go any food courses. Airmid just she just takes me around. If I was to go to a farmer's market, which I haven't yet done since she started talking to me, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to pick all the best of the best out there. But she even questions me. She'll ask me questions like, well, what does it mean with your training, blah, 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 and ask me about nutrients and stuff like that. And she leads me to the right answers for some of these things as to why they taste so much better, because she knows that they're going to taste better and she knows specifically why, but she wants me to have my own answers. So, she's nurturing and she's very caring about this sort of thing. And she won't let me take bad stuff home. I mean, even bananas, if I try to go get the regular bananas, she practically steers me right back at the green organic ones. But it's going to take like 5 days before anybody eats them, and she doesn't care.
Why don't you just grow your own?
Bananas?
No, I mean jalapenos.
We do grow our own jalapenos, but the jalapenos can't grow during the wintertime.
We have jalapenos. It's great. I was just thinking about I was stuck in jalapeno land, just thinking about the Greek yogurt and stuff with the jalapenos.
Yeah, we grow our own jalapenos during the summer and spring and such. And the ones I grow are so much hotter than the ones
pickle them.
And we're talking, if you were to take two of them and like clash them together, they make sparks. You could ignite a fire with this darn thing. So, okay, so Sonia, you were going to say something? I know because you're giggling.
Yeah, like I say, I have since I've been around you, I have seen an improvement a lot, very quickly.
That's her idea of expounding. Okay, in what areas have you seen?
Wow.
You have to wrestle every sentence out of her. Come on.
I don't like being on the spot, and you know this.
But you have to be
so
because people are going to want to know that you're what areas your things are getting better, how they're getting better.
Definitely seeing more, a lot more, and.
Well, for instance, what have you seen?
Well, when I go past, because my bus route tends to be on a lovely bus route, as Sean knows. I'm seeing a lot more people who aren't actually there. Because I did this way.
Are they?
No, I definitely know they're not, because I was on the bus with my dad yesterday, and we went past where they strung up the Pendle Witches, and my dad went, "Oh, can you see her?" I was like, "Yeah," and she was dressed completely odd, and no one else was actually paying attention to her. And is she? And he went, "Yep." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I could see. I didn't want to directly look at her, so I was seeing her at the side, provisional, side of my vision,
peripheral.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot more of that, and I'm definitely sensing a lot more.
So why do you think things are improving, especially since you're not right next to us, not near us or anything?
I don't know. Like I say, I think it's because obviously I can't do the sit down and meditate, and obviously that meditation in motion helps me a great deal, especially because especially if I'm on my own, I do it because it's the bus, so it's a lot more easier and stuff. I don't know. It's you've given me tips to do. It isn't just straight down, do this, do that. It's whatever makes you feel what renaissance. I can't even speak today. Great. It's going to be one of them days. Well, it has been one of them days. Sort of, you've got you're adapted to it, sort of thing. Because I'm not even going to try and say what I just tried to say, because it's going to end up wrong. I'm just going to destroy the word. And say, dealing with the stuff I have been dealing with, I think what's helped as well, the mirror. Um,
Sorry.
I still haven't forgotten what that was. We're not even talking about Janice's mirror. We're talking about
Son of
your
a
mirror
bitch.
with evil Marty Feldman. Yeah.
Oh, my lord.
and then my mum doing the stupid thing.
Well, hence the mirror.
And bringing it back out. It's like, oh, look, I found another one that looks exactly the same.
It's
What are you
so
on about, woman? It's
beautiful.
exactly the same
It's
one.
ugly.
It's ugly and it's exactly the same one. Like, we can't tell that you pulled it out of the box that we sealed this thing into.
Oh, she didn't realize she did that. Anyway.
And like the other stuff Sean's helped me with, like the blackouts and stuff, and you know, and having trouble sleeping. That was a fun time in my life. Not. Um, uh, and like I say, you guys being here and I'm able to talk to you and stuff, and you've been able to give me advice. It's really helped and stuff because trying to talk to my dad, I think I'd get blood out of a stone better than talking to him.
That's kind of odd to me, since he seems to be far more experienced than a great many people that are out there. I would have thought he would have wanted to share some of this stuff. Uh,
He's
maybe
a
I'm just
deranged Scottish person. What can I say?
oh,
He's he's finally getting help for his PTSD, thank God.
that's good.
So he might start opening up finally.
Oh, there you go.
I feel like taking a pan in every time he's like he just brushes something off, just hitting him over the head with it. I probably bent the pan after a while.
Well, I don't think curing Dumbledore of his reticence to talk is giving him a brainurism with a frying pan.
Well,
We're not going to relive Tangled by giving people concussions.
It
who
probably work with
knows?
him.
Who knows? Maybe just reset the personality. It's like the reset switch.
So back to the Haunting of Hill House, which you were saying stuff on it, Joel.
Oh, I'm just saying some of the way that they hit the mark in so many ways on like
So
how I remember getting impressions and just like I'm glad I didn't have some of the oldest starters experiences because
Are you talking about Shirley?
yeah, because damn. So I mean, ooh,
so is this like following kids about, or is it like specific story follow around?
It starts off in the past, which I believe is the 80s. So that would make or 80s or 90s, which would make the kids about our age. And it goes back and forth in time, so that you have two sets of cast members. So you have the kids and the father as a young man or younger man, middle-aged man, 30s, 40s, played by Henry Thomas from E.T. And then you have the next set, which are all grown up, played by grown-up actors, actresses, and I've forgotten what's his name. Plays the father, was from that movie with Kelly McGillis where he goes to heaven. Can't remember the name. But anyway, it's so they'll go back and forth and they show the what happened in the past and the effects on the future, and in some cases how the future goes back to the past, which I'm not going to ruin that one because that's an amazing tie-in, which talks about how I used to leave what I would call temporal messages in a bottle for myself. I stopped doing that when I began to really get confusing about which way I should turn. So I stopped doing it probably about 20 years ago. But it's an amazing exposition on the gifts of these children and how this house had an effect on them and all the stuff that was occurring. And it shows the effects on them later in life and how they're dealing with it, and the fact that their gifts continued to manifest and the house continued to affect them.
yeah. It
Okay.
was it's it's pretty It's pretty impressive.
And one of the themes of and once again, not to spoil anything, but one of the themes about this series, I should say, is what is being awake? What is really what you want? What is wakefulness as opposed to just keeping your head down in the mundane, in the world around you, in life? Is the next world more real than this one? Is I'm trying to not ruin this, but is this world really all that bad? It really isn't. It's one of those things I'm going to tell you straight off. Children grow and move out into the world. And as long as you've done your job as a parent and you've done the best to give them the tools so that they can make the best decisions and protect and keep themselves protected, you've done the best that you can. But you can't do a good job if you're not there. And you can be there and still not be there, which is like my parents. They were there, but they weren't really there. They weren't doing anything. They weren't helping. They made things worse. And in the case of the series that hopefully you'll all watch, The Haunted, you're going to hear this theme over and over and over. Joel got the benefit of a mother who gave a damn and, encouraged him learning. On the other hand, I came to mine and I got backhands and punishments and eventually just had to learn to deal with it on my own. By the time that Joel and I were friends, I had already dealt with some pretty heinous stuff, including the thing that it had chased me from the time I was 5 years old, finally figuring out how to get into my house and turning it away. I mean, I'd go into my bedroom and you stand in there and breathe and it looks like a scene from The Exorcist. There's gouts of steam and it's springtime in Los Angeles near the beach. That doesn't happen, folks, not unless you're in a meat locker.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're dealing with children who have these abilities, the fastest way to make their lives fairly ruinous is to treat them like there's no point in them ever bringing any of this stuff to you, that it's all fake. And I keep on, even on Paranormal Portal, I hoist up Aisha's treatment of her children as the gold flippin' standard. She couldn't see what was going after her daughter, but she still went after it. She picked up a broom and said, "Tell me where he is and I'll hit it." And that is what you do. I can think of no better response. And this is from a parent who has to deal with this kind of thing with his gifted kids. Not that they see these things coming into the house, but I mean, this is how you deal with it. If you don't, your children will not have the proper understanding of how to cope. I think Aisha's going to say
Although they do have children, although they do have children that will act like they see things and mess with their parents. The parents just have to believe in their children until they can find out the difference, whether their child is playing or not. But my daughter, I think it was like 2-3 days ago, she asked me why, how did I just take it the way I took it when she told me that. And she just started laughing because I was like, "What's wrong with you?" She was laughing to herself. She said she just remembering that day I took that broom and got up there and started hitting at the air when when she told me that the woman that looks like a tree was on the ceiling. And she asked me, how did I take it like that? Why did I just believe her and start doing that? And, understood that something was really there. I say, that's a good question. I say, and I wish my mother was alive so I can ask her the same thing. Because when I told her about the guy at the front door, but he was inside behind the curtain, who asked me to call her, she never, looked at me as if something was wrong or whatever, took it seriously. And she just told me to start praying. And I was like, okay, by her asking me that, I was like, man, I wish my mother was still here so I can ask her why she believed me immediately like that, because that means that it may have happened to her in her life. and she knew that things like this happens. I don't know. I sure wish she was here so I can ask about it, because I wanted to know why she believed me instantly. And she didn't take me as a joke. She didn't make it seem like I was playing with her or, acting crazy or whatever. She just told me pray it away, and I never had a problem since.
Joel, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
What's that?
That's her family's gift.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's her familiar trait.
Familial.
Thank you.
Familial trait.
You think my mother may have known that?
I'm just like you have this. It's they call it a sixth sense. It's an instinct, a core understanding, a intrinsic knowledge. When someone's full of crap, or at the very least, when at the core of you that because that's what I think that's where your gifts lie.
Discernment.
Sorry, Joel, go ahead.
Discernment.
Yeah, the discernment, the ability to know. But more than that, also along those lines, that same sensation when you feel that it's right. I know what it must have felt like, because it's just like a sudden, oh yeah, it's right. I'm got to go because my child is saying, and it's there. I got to go get it. And knowing that you could connect with it also with the broom. It's that core knowledge, that feeling of alignment where it's correct. That's what happens to me when I know I have to go help someone.
I'll be right back.
Okay. When I have to go and help, when I'm helping someone, it's like, yes, all the stars are lined up. It's time to do this. Go do it now. And so, it's almost like, okay, I know I got to jump into the cockpit and fly this fighter down the throat of that monster. And that's what happens to me. And I'm guaranteeing it has the same feel. I think that's how you're going to gain access to your abilities, is through when you feel that it's right. Let's do this thing. That you're going to get there. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, like I told you, I used to have an ability when my mother was alive to hear her calling me when she need me. Sometimes I'll pick up the phone like I'm getting ready to call her, and she like, man, I didn't even hear the phone ring. How you picked up the phone? I say, actually, I was about to call you because I heard you calling me. It didn't ring over here. Just picked it up. Or I would call her. I would catch her before she called me and say, what you want? And she was like, man, how you know I was about to call you? I said, I was laying down asleep and I just heard you yelling my name, so I called you. And the thing about it is, right now, my little brother has the same thing. He calls me at certain times. Everything all right? And he'll tell me what he felt, and I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. And I would tell him something that's going on over here, and he'd be like, I actually saw it. He saw it, he felt it, and he heard me calling him, and he would call me. And it's weird.
So practicing with that, I'm sorry, gosh, I'm just getting all phlegmy. Practicing with that, or seeing if you can maintain that feeling before he called you, that alignment feeling where things are lined up. Practicing getting into that state, that you're not stuck inside your own head feel. That is the basics for being able to move energy as well as feel it moving around you. That being outside of your head and you're no longer you're thinking and you're moving. See, that actually is a meditative state, believe it or not. That's why the meditation in motion thing works so well, because sometimes doing things like cooking or cleaning or yoga or marching or that kind of thing puts you into a meditative state. Singing where you're outside of your head, and that's when the messages become the most clear. That's what Sonia's talking about when she does the meditation in motion. Sometimes just sitting on a train and looking out at the world as you're passing by will put you in that state as well. So getting to that state and then maintaining it, or learning how to be able to get there when you need to after you've done it enough times through one medium, through the whatever it is, the cleaning or the cooking or whatever. I know for you it's got to be the cooking thing, because Jemima is just all about the cooking. Because oh my God, that
Yep.
recipe she gave us, okay, she gave to me, with the sweet potatoes. Ever since then, Karen is now exploring all the different ways that you can cook with cream, butter, sweet potatoes, and salt, because there's probably about 50 different ways to do the cooking to create a dish. And Jemima knew about all of them, and now she said, all you need is da. And so Karen's puts that into a thing, and she's trying all the different recipes with it, and I know Jemima knew them all.
Telling you, you should have her watch that that one documentary I was just saying I was watching, the salt, fat, acid, heat. It's probably perfect for her. She would learn probably so much from it, because they talk about how to put things together.
And so Jemima is trying to get that energy into you so that you can finally start talking to her. It's one of the things I mentioned on Paranormal Portal, is that she's there, and a lot of people don't realize that there's guardian spirits around us. One of the people that we're helping right now, she has, no kidding, a new hearth spirit. We're talking like only a couple years old. I didn't make it. I didn't do anything. And it just came into being because and what's interesting is the look of the hearth spirit, because I didn't know the ancestry of the person, and it totally makes sense. It was really amazing to me. So we're coming to a point now where all I have to do is explain what's there, how it exists, what to do, and people are going to be able to go, and then they're going to strike out on their own and find their own answers and their own truths. I don't know if this means we're going to become superfluous, or at the very that we don't have to keep covering the basics after a while, Joel. I don't know.
I think what's going to end up happening is we're I think because we have a spot that people feel safe coming to and discussing these things, there's going to be probably a lot more of that going on, but they'll be able to reach out, or it'll be the pebble in the water in a pond. It's just going to ripple. So I think we'll continue to be doing this, but there'll be more stones hitting the surface of that large pond now.
Okay, well, the show is over, so let me do the outro. And so, okay, everybody, thank you very much for, especially to Aisha, who is our first patron. Couldn't do this without you. And thank everybody who comes and watches our show. We have 133 subscribers now. I'm just shocked. I never thought we'd get here without actually like paying for our memberships, like quite a few people were doing, paying people to come and subscribe to our channel and never watch the show again. Thank you all for your kind attention. If you have any questions, I do understand how it can be overwhelming. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at the channel's Facebook page, which is Magic Oak Paranormal Investigation and Elimination. The links are in the channel, or send me an email, iansmagicoak@gmail.com. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or if you just have a question, you want to be on the show, or you have concerns, or you're dealing with issues that are potentially dangerous, we don't charge anything. That we are actually now professionals is all a matter of the fact that Aisha is really very kind, and I'm still very humbled at the fact that we're doing that. We finally got here. This is the first time in 30 years of us doing this, Joel?
Yeah. I'll also like to shout out to Brent for having us on Paranormal's Portals. I always enjoy talking to Brent. And
Don's always fun.
Yeah, Don Longbear. I think Sean, I would like to say Brent and Sean are like two peas in a pod, and me and Don are like each other. It's kind of funny when I was on that. It was like, oh, this is like a mirror. Thank you for having us, and I'm glad that they had us, gave us opportunity to reach out. The one person we're helping out now is due to that opportunity that they gave us.
Actually, there's three others. We just
true.
There's three others. We aren't mentioning names, by the way, because this is it's all 100% confidential. But I'm very jealous because Joel can actually travel to this person and get out there, and I really wish I could have done the same.
I don't know what you're talking about, because you'll be able to, because of our connection, you'll be able to get the information I see.
I know, but I really wanted to go there.
It's just like you being there. Just piggyback and
well, excuse me for wanting a vacation where I actually can travel where things are growing. And Brent and Don want us back on again because we haven't even really scratched the surface. We sort of took passes like a matador at the bull on the subject. We haven't even gotten into the meat of it. All we did was sort of wave the cape in front of the bull a couple of times, because that's what's going on right now. Is we haven't really gotten in depth into the warfare. He put it down, spiritual warfare. We haven't even taught you guys how to load the gun yet. We just told you that you can put bullets in the gun. That's where this part of the warfare is at. We haven't even shown you what the gun is, how it goes bang bang, and you got into the much better stuff like Ripley says, hey, you started this, now show me how to use the grenade launcher kind of thing.
Yeah,
we haven't even gotten there yet. What we want to, because there's people out there that, just like in that show, The Haunted. Remember The Haunted? I'll put links as soon as the show's over. You got to watch it if you can, because this is becoming more prevalent. It will become even more prevalent, and I don't want. The whole reason I got into this is to make sure that your families stay safe, so that children have some place to turn, so that the kids can grow up conducting energy through the air and doing what my eldest son used to call throwing around Mickey magic, like from Phantasmic, and enjoying their lives because they know they're safe from the shadows out there. And I probably shouldn't say the shadows, because not every shadow out there is a bad thing. It's just like my grandfather blocking the flash in the eyes type of thing. Whatever, the evil that is out there. And we are humbled at the chance to be able to come into your lives and help you, because we definitely feel that this is where our lives need to be. They really needed to be out there assisting your growth and keeping you safe, because if you're in trouble, you call the police. But when you're dealing with something that the police, and this is, there's occasions where people call out the police, and the police like, yeah, okay, it's metaphysical. What do you want me to do? Who do you call? Who do you call that isn't going to go, okay, my fees start at $500 an hour, or I get to keep all the recordings and put it on the internet, etc., and turn your life upside down like a pineapple upside down cake? We don't do that. We don't put any of that stuff online. We say thank you for the opportunity. That's what we do. We are here to help, really help. We're not here because we want to be famous. At least I don't want to become famous. Maybe Joel does. No, are you sure? So I'm pretty sure I don't want to be. No, Sonia, you want to become famous, huh? That's the reason why you're doing the R1 Evan star. You're rocking that look, aren't you?
She's still eating.
He's eating chips and gravy and rocking the R1 Evan star look. So it's hilarious. Because I can easily imagine, I would love to have one day. I would love to have one day where Aisha can actually channel Jemima's advice and be on YouTube doing a cooking show called Cooking with Jemima, the horror spirit, where she talks about all these different. Because that woman, when she starts talking, I don't mean Aisha, I mean Jemima. She's the most talky spirit. It's like I want to grab Joel and go, she won't stop. It's because she doesn't have to breathe, isn't it? She just keeps talking. She just keeps giving advice. This is what you get for nearly a century of nobody talking to her. It's like, I don't even understand all the advice. I don't have the cooking background. Help, Joel.
He likes to talk.
He does.
That's what all my nursing friends do. We should give this patient to Joel because Joel likes to talk.
I just get cross-eyed and go, I don't have that much experience. I can cook an omelet. I know how to do roasts. I don't know how to do all these other things. I've been scarred with bad foods. So,
sorry, what were you saying? Sorry, I had the earphone dropped out of my ear. So
so see, she didn't hear, but you want to become famous, don't you?
No.
None of us do. None of us do. It's the whole point of fame is fame for its own sake. We're just trying to get out there. Fame may actually occur, which I really hope it doesn't, because God, I really want to.
I'm afraid to be famous.
I want peace and quiet. I want to be able to do the stuff I'm supposed to do and then go back to my day job.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise people would be coming up like, hey, aren't you that guy? No, I'm not him. Well, you look like him. Really? Let me put on a face mask or something. Okay, now let's start talking about the things that I'm here for. Because metaphysical.
That's another thing that had me scared of even starting my channel, because I was like, man, I really don't want that. I don't want nobody bothering me when I go out on the street if they get to know me after that. And I was thinking I'm gonna have to dress like these Islam people and cover all my face and eyes and everything and just, act like I'm one of them. And then I was thinking to myself, if I do that, oh Lord, especially walking around here in America, Lord, these people gonna think I'm one of them and make me have to show them my face. Look, I told you I'm not one of them. I'm just hiding from y'all. Could y'all please leave me alone? I'm not a terrorist. Stop looking at me like I'm about to do you something. But I've been looking up those outfits. I've actually been looking them up, trying to figure out how do I buy one and stuff like that. And
see, it's not like with Joel where he knows how to be able to pull the world over his eyes so people don't notice him. It's like yeah, I'm gone. It's like Joel, I can see you're going, Joel. Like, well, yeah, but you can, but the rest of the world can't. I hate you. You're leaving me right here. Joel invented the saying. It's like, I don't have to outrun the monster. I just have to outrun you. Hate you.
It's easier when they can't see me.
It was easier when we had Dean. Because of the way he ran flat-footed, I could outrun him easy. It's like, nope, I'm not. I'm just like 20 feet behind Joel. Oh no, Joel got on the skateboard. He's gone. So anyway, everybody, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. If you know somebody who needs help, please let them know. Once again, it's the Facebook page is Magic Oak Paranormal Investigation and Elimination. You'll definitely see that. Yeah, I think it's the only one that's like it. And of course, you have my email address, which is iansmagicoak@gmail.com. And the links are in the about for the channel. And until next time, stay blessed.